But interestingly, in most countries the Coast Guard is a full branch of the military, because the Coast Guard typically has security roles. And while it is how the British Coast Guard started, it was just to curb a lot of smuggling that was happening primarily from the Netherlands into Britain. Basically because of all the high taxes that angered the Americans and caused them to declare independence. The same high taxation was causing us to also have a lot of smuggling in and out of the country. So the Coast Guard was formed to deal with that, but at some point all the security roles were taken away from our Coast Guard. And so now it's one of the only Coast Guards in the world whose primary role is search and rescue. As such, they're now a civilian operation, so all the search and rescue pilots that fly here do so on commercial licenses, not military ones. Which is actually why there's still a chance that I could actually become a search and rescue pilot someday. I am actually saving up for flight school, but I can't afford to save up too much right now, and flight school costs a lot. Although weirdly, I found out that commercial flight school costs actually quite a lot less than fixed wing. Yeah, that's definitely something I really want to pursue if I get the opportunity. And then after that, from what I've seen, I think when I saw a job come up for search and rescue co-pilot, which is like your entry level, up in, was it Inverness or Aberdeen, up in Scotland? I can't remember now, it was one of them. But they require 750 hours on your licence, and you typically graduate flight school with about 130, I think. At least from the flight school I was looking at, that's the one they say you'll have when you finish their course. There's a full-time year-long course as well. But I think it's the same one that Rory and Air did, just at a different flight school. Yeah, if you're interested in helicopter flying, by the way, definitely check him out. He's got a great YouTube channel. Yeah. Search and rescue pilot is definitely something I would really love to achieve, but yeah, it's a bit out of my price range at the moment, unfortunately. Also, there are very, very few helicopter flying jobs, at least in the UK. It's pretty much the only places that do them at bulk level are Aberdeen, which is actually the world's busiest heliport, interestingly, because it's all the North Sea oil and gas fields, all the helicopters that take people in and out of there, primarily with the Sikorsky S-92. They all fly out of Aberdeen, so there's a lot of helicopter jobs there. And then the other major one here is Norwich, which is primarily, I think, AW139s, and they're to service the wind farms you've got out in like the Wash and kind of around that area. Yeah, outside of that, there's kind of the odd one here and there, things like, you know, London Heliport and executive transport, but there's not really a whole lot here, so getting a helicopter job is something that's very challenging. But I was reading about, I think it was Leonardo posted on their Twitter page about a woman who did a commercial helicopter license but then couldn't get a job, so she started working at Leonardo because they have a manufacturing facility in the UK at Yeovil, funny enough, where the Sea King was actually made, or where we made our ones. They're American Sikorsky helicopters, but we licensed built ours over here. But yeah, she got a job there as an engineer and then just basically waited until the opening came up, and she now started flying as a test pilot, which is pretty cool actually, that you can get that progression. Yeah, that's still wet. Yeah, unfortunately it's kind of the only way, unless you can really afford to fly your own helicopter, which is also not cheap. Looking, well, to be fair, you probably get some good deals on second-hand ones, but the only ones I really like, I really like the Cadbury G2, but that's $500,000 if you want like a decent spec on it. or yeah, €500,000 to buy one of those, excluding tax. But I think the one I'd ideally like, if I could afford it, is probably something like an Airbus H135, which funny enough I've got to, you know what, well, I've got some time to wait for that to dry. I'll get some more kits down to show off. We're not going to be doing these kits anytime soon, but I do have these two. Well, these are both EC135 label because it was the old Eurocopter branding, but you can see from here, Eurocopter's been rebranded to Airbus helicopters now, and I think officially they're the H135s. But yeah, these are like the go-to helicopters for air ambulance services because they're so cleverly designed. Primarily because you can see it better on this one. It's got a clamshell. Actually, I don't know if they... have any good pictures of it, but yeah, basically on the back you've got these clamshell doors which you pop a couple of hinges and they open out really wide, and they can actually, in their ambulance service, get a full stretcher in straight without having to manoeuvre them through a door. For like executive transport use, they'd be really useful for like basically giving you full access to a luggage area rather than a little hatch that you'd normally get on other aircraft. It's like full opening doors. Yeah, that would be ideal, but when I looked into it, I think they're for a decent spec you want like €5 million for a brand new one, excluding tax again. That's, yeah, way more than I'm ever going to be able to afford, I think.